Hey everybody, welcome back to another Taking Trades live stream. I want to give people just a quick second to start piling into the chat. When you hit the chat, drop something in the, or when you hit the stream, drop something in the chat. Just get a quick note here. All right. We've got to go live here. We've got to talk about the markets because things have been crazy. Sorry I wasn't live yesterday. I was live the day before, and we got to talk about some stuff because this was crazy. There was some big time two-sided action, and it happened early and it happened late, and it's just a lot of chaos. And I hope a ton of people tune in today so that we can kind of break down what's going on, talk about our emotions, talk about our positions. I want to show you the positions I have on and sort of how I'm managing them because surprisingly, I feel like I've weathered this storm pretty good so far. So I'm just going to kind of lay out why things are working for me right now and maybe what positions I put on. I did put on a position today. I moved a few others around, and I do want to just kind of get into talking about the SPY, talking about the E-mini S&Ps, talking about the Qs, talking about the diamonds. Just want to get into all of this today so that we can kind of break down what's going on. Cap Zerone, how are you today? Welcome to the live stream. Where are you tuning in from, and are you new to the channel? We're glad to have you. We're going to break down the E-mini S&Ps here in just a second, and we're going to dive into some trades that I put on today, and I want to talk about how I'm managing my trades in a market that is violently moving to the downside. So why don't we get started, Cap? First time from the West Coast, welcome, glad to have you. So glad you're here. If you're not part of the Facebook group, click the link on the YouTube banner and join our free Facebook group. California, wonderful, welcome. So we're going to dive into /ES, which is the E-mini S&Ps for the S&P 500, and you can just see things just got obliterated. And the craziest part is that today at about, I think around 11 a.m. Mountain Time, which would have been about 1 p.m. on the East Coast, this was one gigantic tail, and we were almost back to even. I think we were at 3,090, 3,091, right in that area. And I thought, okay, maybe we're finding a little bit of a bounce, and maybe we're bouncing off this 200, and maybe people have kind of exhausted themselves with the selling. Everybody's hands are bleeding, and now we're just going to sit tight and maybe hold for a second, or maybe even get a little shift to the upside for a moment. But that did not last long. Within the hour, we started sagging back down, and then the rest of the day just continued to the downside, and we're still pushing down. We're below 2950 on the E-mini S&Ps. After the market closed, I just kept watching this one, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So the same story goes if we go to /NQ, which are the futures, the E-mini futures for the NASDAQ. Same thing, you can see this big down move, and we're still at the bottom. It's not like it's pulled back at all. We are still pushing hard to the downside, and it looks like it's reaching for that 200 simple moving average, this green line. And what I like about using the futures markets, the /NQs, the /ES, is because you can watch those after hours. You could get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you could look at /YM, which is the Dow, and you can see what it's doing. It'll be moving in the middle of the night. So you can kind of gauge the weight or the heaviness or the energy and excitement for the next trading day moving into the market open. So I love to monitor the futures and keep a close eye on those, and they just really help me out a lot with that. But let's talk about some positions, some movement. One thing I got to talk about today, Amika Nwoye, hello, welcome to the live stream. So glad you're here to tell us where you're from. So one thing I want to talk about are the airlines. So you look at American Airlines, and Granted, the coronavirus is obviously causing a ton of chaos, and the airlines are going to take a brunt of that because people aren't going to be traveling as much. But in something that is down this much with such high volatility, it makes them an interesting play for puts and put spreads, just because you can remain neutral or slightly bullish on it with this high volatility and take advantage of some really good premium collecting, selling premium. So American Airlines got beat up. Southwest Airlines got hammered. I mean, look at that, just obliterated. And then if we go to UAL, a massive bloodshed here, and then you can see if I kind of squish this up and zoom in. That wasn't right. If I zoom in on this one day, you can see that, I mean, look at this action. It actually was all the way down as low as 61.20, as high as 68.80s, and then finished slightly green after gapping down at almost $65. Krish Patel, yo, welcome to the live stream. Saud Al-Shazawi, you're from Oman. Wow, welcome. So happy you're part of the live stream. If anyone's not part of the Facebook group, click the link in the icon, click the icon in the YouTube banner and come join our free Facebook group. So it just broke down the E-mini S&Ps, the NASDAQ futures, and the Dow /YM. And now I'm just diving into the airlines. And one trade I did put on today was in American Airlines. I took advantage of the fact that this is a massive beating, and then we got a gap down with a further trail to the downside. So I came in here and I decided I would go ahead and just look for some decent premium. And you can see here 36 days out, April 3rd, I opened this up, I came in and I decided I'm going to sell the 18 naked put for about I think it was $120 I got for it. Just a small one, but at an $18 stock, that's a massive amount of premium. So I was really happy with that and decided to put that trade on, see what happens. I gave myself a little bit of room. I went 27 delta. I think it was 25 delta when I put it on. And then I'm just going to manage this as a naked position, and it's out 36 days, so I won't make any decisions on this until I get 21 days to expiration, 3 weeks out. Kind of that tasty trade mechanical mentality. I'm going to wait till 21 days, and then I'll either leave it alone, or I'll roll it out in time, and down in strikes. I'll actually roll it to 1750 or 17, whatever is most appealing. But good liquidity at American Airlines, good premium. The thing that you guys know I always do when I look at a stock, I want to know what the IV rank is. What's the implied volatility rank? And that number is here. And if you don't know what IV rank is, you can see this implied volatility of 79%. The rank is 100%. So that means over the last 12 months, 79%, that is 100% of where it's been. So it basically says over the last 12 months, what's the high and the low? And then the high and the low become the 100% and the 0%. And then it gives you a scale of what happened over the past year. So we're at 100%, which is massive. So it's time to sell premium. So I came into a stock that's battered, beat up, lots of drama, lots of coronavirus stuff, and decided to go ahead and put on a very small trade. And again, that's the key, staying very small in your positions, because if you get big enough to where it makes you sweat a little bit or makes your heart race, you know you're too large in the position, and that shouldn't be the case. You should be putting on a lot of little trades sort of smattered all over the place. That way you don't feel committed, overcommitted to one sector, one underlying, or just one strike price. You want to kind of spread yourself out. Krish, I will check Uber right now. Thank you, sir. And anyone else that's got any tickers they want to take a look at, go ahead, throw those in the chat. We're going to take a peek at them and kind of break things down. But American Airlines, that's a position I put on today. Uber, uh-oh. So Krish, we got to talk about this, buddy. This is looking okay. It's super interesting because Krish was around and knows about when we went ahead and I have a video in the past you can watch on the channel of these two dips here. We were nibbling shares and then rode this up and sold, and then it kept going, and I felt like, oh man, we missed out on a little upside, which is okay, but now it's been obliterated back down. And you can see this level. I drew a support resistance level in based off this last sort of lower high, lower low, and then we had a lower high, but we got a higher low in here, and then we moved up and we broke this previous lower high, and then had a pullback and went higher. So I sort of established this as a support level, and then we came back down to it, and I said if we ever get back down to this level, which is right about right around $34, I thought to myself that would be a spot where I might be interested in getting back in. So I'm going to watch that closely. And now today we get a gap down. We're getting a big, wide, sort of spindly looking doji with a small body. We're sitting right about 32.50. Krish, it might be time to consider Uber again. The volatility on it was not as great as I wanted it to be. Oh no. Oh, that's changed. Okay, so the current IV percentile is 100%. I'm going to look at, we'll go 36 days out, 45 days. Let's go 42 days out and take a look. Okay, so the options chain's a little wonky because of the markets. You can see the skew right now. Because it's down so much, so suddenly, the call side is a little juicier with the premium than the put side. This being the put side and this being the call side. So I'm going to have to look at this tomorrow when this sort of resets itself. If I could get a couple of bucks in here and not have to be right at the money, I might give that, or I might go at the money, Krish. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens. Hey, Amika, you're from Spain. Fantastic. I love that there are people from other countries that are in here. We've got 9 people in here, and 2 of them are from other countries. I love it. Let's see, Cap Zerone, would selling a put tomorrow in AAL, same strike and expiration as yours, be still worth it, and should I get a lower strike? So Cap, let me go back to American Airlines and talk about my trade. I don't ever tell anyone what to do. I just like to show you guys what I'm up to and then give you, my thoughts, but don't ever take a trade just based off what I say or what I'm doing. But yes, this I think will still be a valid trade tomorrow. The thing you don't want to do is get into a situation where, tomorrow this pushes back up and you're having a big green day and then you sell a put. I typically like to sell puts on red days or down days, and today we got that down day and we got a nice saggy kind of red doji, so I went ahead and did it. But it kind of depends on your comfort level. Now remember, so Cap, look at this. This is interesting. When you look at delta right here, this is your percent chance that your strike is not going to be breached. That's a way that you can think of delta. So one safe place to be is 1 standard deviation, which is the equivalent of 16 delta. So if you're out 16 delta, that's 1 full standard deviation. That's typically a really nice play for people who aren't familiar with trading options. You're in a smaller or lower priced underlying given American Airlines. It's only trading at about $20.60. So it's not a hugely priced stock where you have to put up a lot of capital. And you could go 1 standard deviation to make it very safe. And you could keep yourself out nice and wide and probably collect, these will change tomorrow, but if you did a 1 lot, staying small, you could probably collect $65, something in that neighborhood, I would guess. But again, if you want to be more aggressive or you're okay with managing the trade, which is what I like to do sometimes, is on lower priced underlyings in high volatility, I like to get a little more aggressive and then know that if I get challenged or breached, that I will then roll down and out. I'll roll my position around. Being mechanical, putting the trade on around 45 days and then rolling and moving the trade at 21 days. And when I do that, it takes it back to 45 days. And I wait to 21 days, I make a decision, I go back to 45 days. And I just keep this sort of accordion-like mentality or style. That way it just keeps me nice and safe. It keeps me from getting out too far in the future. On occasion, you have to add a little more time and go out to 50 or 60 days. That just happens. but you always kind of want to let that come in to about 21 days and then make a decision. And the reason I say this is just based on the decay over time in option pricing. So let's take a look. Would you think of just buying shares and just go long? Krish, you could buy shares. Are you talking? I'm assuming Krish is talking about Uber. You know, Krish, if I were going to take a stab on Uber right now, I think what I would do, if I wanted Uber tomorrow or wanted to take a stab at this, I think I would probably just go ahead and sell an at the money put. Something like that. Probably sell the 31 put, and then if it becomes long stock, I'll be okay with it and start selling calls. The other way to approach that, Krish, is like before. You know, you could buy 10 shares tomorrow and then wait, and then on the next red day buy 10 more, and just take your time accumulating the shares. In this type of market, I definitely don't recommend going in full size, because that could be quite a disaster. You know, if you wanted 100 shares or 500 shares and you have a small account, if you go all in at once, you could get a big down day and really make your P&L make you sweat. So let's see. Hey Guy, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, Cap, you're still learning. You should play a week out or a month out or more. Is a week out or a month out in terms of time? I always recommend starting at the 45 days. That's just a place that I like to start. That's kind of what Tasty Trade recommends. They've done a bunch of research on it, and it just legitimately makes sense in terms of time decay. So I always recommend 35 to 45 days right in there. Dave, what up, playa? How are you, Dave Kiss? Welcome to the live stream. You're not late this time. You're on time. You made it. That's fantastic. Tell me what you traded today. I'm super excited to talk today. There was so much going on. I wanted to also talk a little bit about a couple of other trades that I put on today. I wanted to look around and remember. I rolled down a Wayfair put today, and I put the trade on AMD, but that was a couple days ago. Can't remember if I told you guys that I put on an AMD trade. But I went ahead and sold a naked put on AMD at 45, so you can see I'm in the money. So right now, let me make sure that's right. AMD 45 naked put, yeah. So I sold the naked put while we were hanging out up here at 47. We got the drop, another 1,000-point down day. So we're sitting at 44. I'm staying mechanical with AMD. I'm going to wait till 21 days to expiration, and then I'll either just roll out in time and collect a credit, or if the opportunity is there, I might even roll it down if it makes sense. You took a major loss on Microsoft and bought some gold calls. Interesting, Dave. Microsoft, what did you get into with Microsoft? I'd be curious, were you trading options, Dave, or did you just jump in and go long? Let's see. And Krish, do I still have the revolve position on? RVLV, yes, I do. I'm staying mechanical with that one, Krish. So if you come in here, let me just double check real quick. RVLV, I have two. I have the 20 and the 2250 puts. So right now, yeah, that's just hysterical. So to look at this trade right now, I've got the 2250 strike and the 20 strike with the idea of possibly making these long stock because it was an inexpensive underlying, and I got a few bucks on the front end, like over $3 on these. So I'm sitting okay right now, and let me just see how many days out we are. March 20th, 22 days out. So Krish, tomorrow will be 21 days to expiration on RVLV Revolve. So what I'll be doing is I will be rolling these positions tomorrow, and I can talk about that in the live stream tomorrow. I'll probably roll them for a larger credit and just roll them flat. I won't look to roll down. I'm looking to just kind of keep grinding out the credits and wait for Revolve to maybe come back alive, or to follow the overall market if we get a move to the upside. Yeah, Dave, the lag is gone. I actually changed it. I figured out that there's an ultra low latency setting in YouTube that allows you to have an interactive chat. I had it on the lowest or the highest setting for lag for less bandwidth, but I have a great internet connection and I have lots of computing power here at my disposal, so I decided to go ultra low latency, and now it seems to be working really well. And I apologize, everyone, but gather your tickers up. Get ready to give them to me. I have to do one quick thing. I'll be back in like 15 seconds, so give me just a quick second. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. So tickers, let's see them. What do you got for me? My positions today were mainly a lot of rolls. Oh, I got some news. I didn't even tell you guys the best stuff. Doug Pham, welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. Where are you from? So the thing I was excited about last night, I can't believe I completely forgot to tell you guys about this. I had 2 earnings trades yesterday. I had one on Etsy. Check this out. Put on an earnings trade. I have a core position in Etsy, and Etsy's been having just a nice grind. I sold a naked put yesterday late afternoon right before the market closed, and then we got a big bump up. They had a great earnings beat. It was off to the races today, and Etsy worked out perfectly. Closed it this morning early for a nice little small profit, and then moved on kind of with my day. Then the other one I hit last night was I put on a naked put earnings trade on Square. And you wouldn't be able to tell it by looking at it now, but Square had an earnings beat, jumped up, pushed way up this morning, and I closed it for another small profit. So I could have collected more profit if I would have waited till later in the day, because it went all the way to 85. But I took the profit when I had it. I felt like the markets were going to be turbulent. We're going to be two-sided possibly today. I just didn't want to give up any profits and get stuck in a position, because anytime you're selling naked puts, you have buying power. Like it can absorb more buying power because you don't have that limited risk with the put that you buy. So I wanted to wipe those off the board and get those done. So I collected those 2 wins and moved on. But Square and Etsy, they were fantastic last night, and Square had amazing earnings. So I think that after all this craziness quiets a little bit and the markets kind of stop free falling, I think Square is going to possibly one that might be moving higher in the future. But it's super interesting. Krish is looking at Shaq. Boy, I'm going to check Shaq out real quick. IV is, the IV percentile is 64%, which I would expect it would be pegged at 100 because everything's 100 right now. So we'll have to see. They must have missed their earnings. No, they beat earnings. Interesting. Let's see what kind of premium we can get. Yeah, Shaq's got some decent premium. Krish, this is nice. Yeah, you could really take anything. You could play it really conservative and go 55 puts, for between $1.50 and $1.85. That's actually really good there. And if you like the stock, you could get closer to the money and take the assignment and then turn around and sell those covered calls. Interesting. That's a good one. I like that, Krish. That's a really good one. Kat, let's see. Could you have a look at FSLY and CCL? Let's look at. Kat wants to look at FSLY. All right, Kat. Let's see. Fastly Inc. I don't know much about this one. Ivy rank is good, a little low, which is interesting, but not bad if we go 50 days out. Yeah, you're kind of in that same boat as with RVLV. You've got a few strike selections, you've got some inflated volatility. So if you were possibly wanting to get long FSLY, you could sell an at the money put, wait for the assignment, turn around, start selling calls on the other side, and move forward. Just stay in mechanical. Not as many selections in here for options, but not horrible. And you said CCL as well, Cap? CCL, 100% vol. Obviously, it's beat up like everything else. This is, oh, Carnival. This is a risky play, Cap. Carnival is, wow. You can get a $30, $31 stock and get, geez, you could probably get $360, $350 on a one lot. That's interesting. I'm not going to play Carnival because, you know, cruises, people fly on airlines for business when they have to do it. There's that. But nobody goes on a cruise because they have to. You know what I mean? There's not, that's more of a, it seems like if the airlines and Carnival cruise and cruise lines are if one of them's going to get hit worse over the coronavirus, I would think that the cruise lines would, just because they're sort of a vacation luxury. You don't have to do them, but there are people who have to fly. So I don't know, and that's just my weird opinion. But I'm going to stay away from CCL. But if you like it, then my goodness, it's down and premium's juicy and it pays a dividend. It pays a 50-cent dividend. Carnival Cruise, yeah, that's super interesting. I don't know. And at some point, you get such big pullbacks with such juicy premium, you kind of want to just trade everything. It's really hard to decide what exactly you want to trade. Let's flip over real quick. Let's look at E-mini S&Ps and see where the markets are right now. Oh my gosh, we're still dropping. Everyone, we are still dropping 29.49 and counting. So E-mini S&Ps continue to crush. Blackhawk Driver, you're in the chat. Glad to see you. You sold the 60 put on W yesterday. Felt a little more confident about it yesterday. Wonderful. 60 put seems pretty good because I think Wayfair ended up out in the 70s today. Yep, closed at small green day around 70.35. And the only thing to remember, Blackhawk, is that we have earnings coming up tomorrow. So, oh, and it's before the market opens. Interesting. Okay, so before the market opens tomorrow, we've got earnings on Wayfair. So keep your eyes open for that. That's going to be interesting. The thing about Wayfair that I wanted to say to everybody is that this massive crush in all the markets has created so much havoc in all the stocks that were overinflated. But Wayfair had this big pullback before all this happened, and then it didn't do much. So the market's getting bled dry hasn't really affected Wayfair that much. It's just down so much. So I don't know what to expect from Wayfair, but if they have any kind of decent earnings, I imagine people could see that as a positive sign or something to get behind, given that it hasn't had a catastrophic fall suddenly. It's kind of gently been dropping. But we'll have to wait and see tomorrow morning, and we'll definitely talk about this in the live stream tomorrow. Don't let me forget, Blackhawk, to talk about Wayfair tomorrow. PayPal's looking to get long after this confirmation of the market turning around. You like a PayPal, Krish? Let's go back. PYPL. Yeah, gosh, look at PayPal. You know, if you're a fan of Square, but you feel like Square has run up too much after yesterday's earnings, PayPal might be another play, might be another way to get into the same space, same sector, but get in for a lower price. I know that Square is a less expensive stock than PayPal. If we go to Square, you can see it's trading at 79.31, but it's had a nice big run up. So PayPal, yes, will be more buying power if you're selling naked puts, or if you just want to buy long stock, it's just going to be more expensive. But you're hovering right around that 200-day simple moving average. We've got the MACD pressing down. We've got the RSI below 40. Things are kind of on the downside. If you look at their most recent earnings, they had an earnings, well, basically a flat earnings, but it caused a minor hiccup and then it went higher. So yeah, PayPal might be a good one, Krish, after as things start to kind of settle out. Gio Rodriguez, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. How is your trading day, and do you have any tickers you want to share? We're kind of putting anything on the board and talking about it. We're looking at options pricing and premium. We're talking about volatility, and I'm just kind of talking about how I'm trading this. And I want to reiterate just for everyone who's in now, because we've got about 17 people in here. So to everybody, how I'm managing it and weathering this storm is, over the past 6-8 months, I've just been dedicated to selling premium when volatility is high, meaning above 50% for me in volatility rank, and then just trying to lower my cost basis over time. So I sell a lot of naked puts and I sell a lot of covered calls, and I can get my cost basis way down. And that gives me a cushion so that when we get drops like this, it's not as bothersome. We can kind of weather these storms. Now, this has been a really big pullback in a short period of time, and I'm not sweating my positions as of this second. So things are okay. I want to give you a really good example, and you guys are probably tired of hearing about this one, but MongoDB. So we just went through these massive downslides. MongoDB has had a big old pullback, but look at this. 98.99 is my break even. That's my cost basis. That's what I've pushed this down to by selling premium. And so MDB can have turbulent times, and I'm still okay because I just keep selling premium into these down moves, into up moves, just staying consistent, and then always making my decisions at 21 days to expiration and 45 days out. Ernest Rivera, let's see, what do you think about MU? Let's look at it. Ernest wants to take a look at MU, Micron. Let's look. All right, let's see. So Micron has been trending up and is obviously beat up like everything else. It's got kind of a little supportish level right in here. Way down. Let's now come over here. We'll check the volatility. It's nice and high. The rank is 97. So if I crack open, yeah, I think Ernest, if you are bullish to neutral on MU, then a put spread or a naked put could be a good opportunity here. The nice thing about this great premium is that, say you were to sell the 49 put and collect 325. Well, 49 minus 325 is going to put you at $45.75 break even, way down here. So it's a pretty impressive way to reduce your cost basis and sort of stay out of the way are these big premiums. So it's a great way to do it. And if you were to go 42 days out, you could come in here and collect almost three. Let's see, three. And the options chain's a little messy because the markets are closed. But that could be a $46 break even. Excuse me. So yeah, MU could be good. There's the volatility is right. The premiums look good. It's a not an overly expensive underlying, and it's had a big pullback. These are the things I like, and this is another reason why I think I've weathered this storm fairly well so far. Is just because I'm not selling puts or getting involved in things that are overbought. I'm waiting for those pullbacks. If you can get those big pullbacks on a normal basis, like when things are normal, and the big pullbacks don't come often. So a lot of times it's an earnings miss. Drops a stock, that's where I sell puts. So I'm waiting for the market to come back. So when it does run up and then we encounter a big market correction, I've got some more of that padding or give or room. So that's kind of how I've been playing things. So I think it's helped me out. The cost basis reduction by selling premium combined with never chasing things that are overbought seems to have allowed me to sort of be comfortable and weather this right now and just keep doing what I'm doing. Let's see, you started doing what you mentioned about an average in 80, buying a day, setting up a covered call in the future, sitting at 89 total since I started buying. Oh, and that's in which, Oh, on W, 89. So for Wayfair, Blackhawk, you have an average cost of $89. Boy, what a drop. It's just, Wayfair's just been dropping like crazy. Ernest, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Let's see. Oh, and the other one, my strong one of the day is Luckin Coffee, which is funny. My Chinese play, my China play, Luckin's trading at 38.81. This is one that I really have liked because of the really juicy premiums. I really enjoy having this stock. It's a lower price underlying, but it's one that I collected, over $4 in when it was just under right around $40. So it's been a good play. Oh, AMD 89 shares. Sorry about that, Blackhawk. I misunderstood you. So AMD, you have 89 shares total. Well, you're killing it right now because if you bought any today, then you're looking really, really nice. So yeah, once you do that and get settled in and you end up with 100 total, then you can start looking at the possibility of covered calls and just start creating money, just monthly income off your position, and just staying kind of diligent that 21 to 45 days, and that'll help keep you in that sweet spot. Yeah, awesome. Anybody got anything else? This is great. I think I've shared all my trades. Like I said, I just took Wayfair and rolled one down. I think I rolled a 77 put down to 76, and I'm just sitting tight. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in earnings tomorrow morning. That's going to be a big deal. So, and then the conference call is going to be at 7 a.m. So, yeah, we'll see what Wayfair does. Yeah, Gilead Sciences. That's is it GILD? Yeah. Oh, that's a big pullback. Yeah, they've been working on the coronavirus, so on getting a vaccine out. So they are a very interesting play right now. And their volatility is huge. And if you go 42 days out on that, again, pretty decent premium, a little high, a little pricier underlying compared to what we were looking at before, but still good premium. Not a bad play. It is up right now, so you just have to watch that. I probably wouldn't get involved with it because I'd want to see it down more before I sold put on that. You sold the 47 put on MU. Nice job, Blackhawk. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I'm so glad everybody's here. This is great. We got lots of good stuff going on. We got some new people in the chat. If there's anybody else out there who hasn't put anything in the chat, just say hello. Let us know where you're from. Yeah, Square just sold off. So one more check on the E-mini S&Ps. Still dropping, but kind of holding that 29.50 level. And now I think they might be closed. They take an hour off, so this might be, it might be closed right now. So 29.50, that's where we're stopping right now, and then we'll open up a new bar when they come back on. So everybody stay consistent. Stay mechanical. Don't chase anything that's overbought. Be careful about your size. If you can keep yourself very, very small in these trades, when you have profits, take it immediately, and we'll just kind of ride this thing out and see where we go from here. But remember, the work you put in now in down moves like this is where you can reap huge benefits in the future. So if you're looking at nibbling a couple shares of this or that, go ahead and do that here in these big pullbacks, because you could see after some time, a move back to the upside. We'll see what happens. We don't know how long this will go on, but this is a pretty decent correction that's letting off a lot of steam from the market. So this is what the markets have needed. We're getting two-sided action. It's moving up, it's moving down. It's great for trading options, great for trading stocks. So we'll see what happens. It's pretty exciting. And volatility is kind of driving everything. If we look at the VIX, I mean, look at this. This is that volatility meter we were talking about. Look what today did. Like, we thought this was big, and then we got boom. So, I mean, this is obviously, we're now higher volatility-wise than we were during the craziness around Christmas of 2018. That's just insane. So, yeah, volatility's through the roof right now. If I look at volatility live on the futures, we'll see if it pulled back. It did not pull back. It did earlier, and then it pushed right back up. So volatility is still at all-time, is still at almost the daily high. So tomorrow could be an interesting Friday. We'll see how we close the week. We'll go live again tomorrow. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You're right, Blackhawk Driver. It'll work out. We'll get through it. JSY, hello. Thanks for popping in the chat. Hope everybody's great. Thank you for tuning in. It's so awesome to see everybody. Stay consistent. We'll get through this. We'll be good. Tune in tomorrow. Have a great day trading and watch Wayfair earnings in the morning. And have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.